Hi beauties, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. Happy to have you. I want to update my stash today. I've had this stuff for close to a month, if not a month, so ready for some new stuff. Let's just get into it. My stash this past month was pretty big, just because I got the whole Raw Beauty Christie collection with ColourPop. I put all that stuff into my stash, so let's just go through it. Well, first, I just want to show you the stuff that is going to stay in rotation, which if you've watched any of these, you already know. I'm keeping in these two mascaras, the Essence False Lashes, the Maybelline Falsies, the Falsies Lash Lift. Yeah, just gonna keep using these until they're done. My color corrector, my collab peach color corrector staying in. I'm just gonna keep this lip balm in from Milani, the Fruit Fetish. And I think I'm just gonna keep my Fit Me in rotation. I only have two concealers right now. I have the Fit Me, and then I have my Neutrogena Radiant Cream. And I'm just gonna keep this one in for now. If I want to grab the Neutrogena one, I will. Also, I just had avocado toast with like everything bagel seasoning, and I'm really hoping that there's no like seeds in my teeth. Really, I looked, but you know, it's always a fear. Okay, so the three eyeliners from the Raw Beauty Christie collab I enjoyed using these. I personally don't find these to have long-lasting power in my waterline. I just don't. And it's nothing specific to these pencils. Like, no pencil that I have found or used lasts in my waterline. They just don't. Like, I don't know what it is. Now, I will say, on days where I feel like taking a little bit more time and grabbing like a Q-tip or something and really like drying out my waterline before I put these in, they do last a little bit longer. But if I just, you know, if I don't take the time to do that and I just run these in my waterline, they don't last. But I mean, they're beautiful colors. They just don't last. So I'm gonna put these back. I'm not really gonna put in any specific eyeliners. Again, if I want one, I'll just grab one. But that's those. I'm gonna keep in, I forgot to mention this, but I'm gonna keep in my, dude, look how much of a dent I've put in that already. I don't know if you can tell, but the L'Oreal Lumi Shake, I always forget the name of this. It has such a stupid long name. I mean, not really, but the Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. Gonna keep that in. I just, again, because I really don't have that many setting sprays. I used my Fenty Hydrating Primer. I don't know if you can see, I'm about halfway done with this. Love this primer. Love, love, love it. It's very moisturizing. I actually love the way it smells too. It is kind of perfumed. I don't typically like perfume or like scented face products, but I actually enjoy the way this smells. But I love this primer. And then I also used my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, just the Universal Sheer. I'm making quite a bit of a dent in this as well. I don't know if you can tell, but I liked both of these. No complaints. I pulled in my number 7 Lift and Illuminate. It says it's a finishing powder, which I think means you're supposed to, or you can use it like on your whole face, which I don't do. I just use this on my under eye. Sometimes I'll run a little bit like right in the center of my forehead. No issues. I like the way this looks under my eye. It doesn't look cakey or, you know, like too much. Foundation. So, you know, I think I had updated you like pretty early into Shop My Stash. I had to throw away my True Match Lumi. I like lost the cap, so whatever, I just threw it away. I actually did repurchase it, but in between me losing the cap and repurchasing it, I threw this foundation in there, my Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid, and I just used this. Forgot to put the new True Match in there. So I love this foundation so much, the Dream Radiant Liquid. It is absolutely, you know, hydrating, radiant. It's not too much. It's like a medium coverage. I just love the way this looks on my skin. I had, had a couple blushes in rotation. I had my Nabla Skin Glazing Blush in Truth. You know I love that. And then I also finally used this, and I used this several times. This is the Physicians Formula Rose All Day Petal Glow in Shimmering Rose. And I used this as a blush. I know I was like, oh, I don't know if that's gonna look good as a blush. I might just use it as a highlighter. I loved the way this looked as a blush. I used a very light hand, and this was such a beautiful shimmery blush. Like, I really liked this. My only gripe is that it is so heavily scented. I mean, it smells like rose. It's not anything that lingers though. Like, my face didn't smell like a rose all day. You know, like you definitely smell it when you're putting it on, but it's not something that stays all day. So I can deal with that. Bronzers. I cannot believe that I have not used this entire bronzer. I mean, I'm very close. Very, very close. My Fenty Cream. I should just keep this. I should just put this in my next rotation and just get rid of it, right? I should just use it up. I think I'm gonna. That wasn't my plan, but you know how I feel about that. It's literally my favorite bronzer of all time. Also used my Wet n Wild color icon in Sunset Striptease. Now, this is, I don't want to put it up all the way. This is kind of deceiving because when I got this bronzer, it was broken. So I had to press it. So there was kind of like a spot missing in the middle to begin with. I haven't used this much product, but I love it. Love this bronzer. It's a very like a very natural looking bronzer. Okay, we got to get through this, baby. Ooh, you know I'm home with my 4-year-old. We got to get through this. Okay, used my Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. Still love it. One of my favorites. I don't know what else to say. Used a couple of my Milani cream blushes, Nude Kiss, Blushing Berry. These I found using my finger is the best way to apply these. So that's what I did. I just put a little bit on my finger and just tap them in. That's the only way I have found that they don't mess up like my base makeup. If I use a brush or a sponge, no. Okay, palettes. My Raw Beauty Christie ColourPop. You know how I feel about this if you watched like the best palettes of this year. The only shade in here that I actually was disappointed by was this Evergreen color, this shimmer. It's just, it was kind of dry and like, it just doesn't have a great color payoff. I mean, it's pretty, but I don't know. I think I wanted it to be a little bit more impactful. So that's the only shade I didn't really love in this palette, but I don't know, I liked it. This is my Busted Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. I have a brand new one in my drawer. I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this one. Those two shades fell out, but I fucking love this palette. You know that. It's absolutely one of my favorites. Every single shade in here is stunning, stunningly beautiful on the eyes. They're so just super foiled and pretty. I love every look that I use that palette with. I had my LA Girl Pro Artistry. I also really liked this. I used it twice this rotation, but again, I loved every look I got. I did, what's the first look I did? God, I don't even remember. I did this last look I did just a few days ago. I did super neutral mattes, and then I did this kind of gold shimmer, and then this like taupey shimmer, half and half on my lid. It was gorgeous. I think actually the first look I did was like these warm colors. I think I did like these oranges and corals, but I love this palette. For $14 or $15, you can't beat the quality in this. I mean, I don't think so. I think all of these shades are really easy to use. I don't have any issues blending out the mattes. I will say, I always do this anyway, but do your eyeshadow first if you're gonna use this palette, because there can be quite a bit of fallout. So, you know, if that's something that doesn't bother you, just do your eyeshadow first. If that's something that you really hate, like you hate that in a palette, maybe don't get that palette. I had my Pat McGrath Decadence palette in this rotation. I mean, I don't know what to say about this palette either. This palette is freaking gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did a really beautiful like cool toned blue and silver like smoky eye with this palette. I filmed with it. I mean, I love it. What can you say about Pat? Beautiful. And then the last palette that I had in rotation is my ColourPop Kathleen Lights So Jaded. I still love this palette. I used this several times. I did a pretty like holiday look using the greens. I really enjoy like these warm tones here. The Super Shock Shadow in here is really pretty. I mean, I just like this palette. I don't, what can I say? I had a lot of fun using this. It was nice to like pull this back into rotation. It had been a long time since I used that. Used all my lipsticks. I had my Milani Matte Passion lipstick. I had a couple of my Prophet Beauty, couple brown lipsticks that I really enjoyed. I had the Raw Beauty Christie lip glosses. Liked those. I actually think I might keep this one in my next rotation, Glacier, just because it's just so easy to throw on. I'm gonna keep this in rotation. This is my number 7 translucent powder. I am almost done. I know I've been saying that for months, but I'm almost done. Had my Raw Beauty Christie Super Shock shadows. Loved these. Again, it was so much fun to just use Super Shock shadows again. It's been years since I've had it. Ooh. Okay. Powering through. Last thing I had in my stash was this Physicians Formula stick highlighter in Honeydew. I liked it. No complaints. I mean, I don't know. It's a pretty kind of like rose gold highlighter. Enjoyed it. Oh Lord. Okay. I think I have him settled for hopefully a few minutes. Jesus. Let's get into the stuff that I picked for my next rotation. I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I'm going to leave this stuff in for a month. A month is kind of a long time. I don't know. I get I get bored if it's in there for that long sometimes. So I don't know. I might do these a little bit more frequently, maybe every couple weeks, but let me show you what I got. So my intention was to film this yesterday. I was gonna film this video yesterday, but then just stuff happened, couldn't get to it. So I actually already have everything picked out that I'm going to have in my rotation, so I'm just gonna show you. Okay, let's get into this, okay? I think pretty much all of this stuff, with the exception of the lipsticks, I chose through my Tiny Decisions app. I didn't have anything, I mean, I have some new stuff, but whatever. I just figured I would randomize it for a couple weeks in no particular order. I'm literally just picking up the first pile of stuff that was in front of me. I actually surprisingly got both of my House Labs little face palettes here. So I have Heat Spell, the bronzer and highlighter duo, and then I have Head Rush, which is the blush and highlighter duo. Now, these were in my stash a couple rotations back, but that was only because I had just gotten them in the mail and I was like excited to try them. So it was just kind of more of a first impressions. They were only in there for like a few days. So that's why I decided it was like okay to pull them back in. I do want to use them more, get more of an idea of how I feel about them. And then palettes, I'm actually really excited about this rotation with palettes. So I got one of my newer palettes. This is the Juvia's Place collab with La Mariposa. Oh, that's the name of the palette. Yami Angelina is her name. Sorry. I really am not familiar with who she is. I just thought this palette was beautiful. So there's that. I've used this palette once. I used this brown shade like all over my lid and crease, and then I just threw the glitter on top of that, and then I used this pink for a really bright inner corner highlight, and it was beautiful. This glitter was really, really pretty on the eyes. I mean, it creased like a bee, like a biche, but I enjoyed it. I got my Juvia's Place Nubian palette, which I'm actually really excited about. I do not give this palette enough love. I really don't. It's a very, very warm neutral palette. I'm wearing it on my eyes today, but I'm actually kind of glad I got this. I think it'll be nice to have something neutral with these palettes I got. Super excited about this. I got my Sydney Grace, Mel Thompson, Tiny Marvels. I'm really, really excited to film with this. I mean, again, if you saw my top 5 palettes of the year, this is in there, so could not be more excited to use that. And then I'm excited about this too. This is a palette in my collection I have never used. I've had it for like 7 months. The Midas Flower Bomb palette. I mean, it's stunning. It's stunning. So maybe not a palette that you would think of to use during the winter, but whatever. I'm gonna be sitting at home in front of my computer, so we're definitely gonna play with that. I pulled in my Haley's Beauty Perfecting Powder, Loose Setting Powder. Gonna use that along with my number 7. The nude lipsticks that I chose were actually 2 Milani. The Nude Creme and Matte Beauty. I don't know how well you can see those. I'm actually wearing this one today, the Nude Creme, with nothing. I don't have a lip liner or anything on. Maybe I should have. I just threw it on. Foundations, I got my Urban Decay Naked Skin. I've had this for so long. Maybe I'll finally be able to get rid of it, use it up. And then I'm excited about this. I picked my new Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation, wearing it today. I used all of this stuff today because, like I said, it was sort of my intention to film this yesterday, and then I just didn't have time to do it. I decided to focus on this primer. This is my Neutrogena Radiant Primer Plus Serum. I love this stuff. Blushes, I showed you that House Labs one, and then I also picked one of my Flower Beauty blushes in Nectar, wearing it today. Bronzer, I pulled in my Milani Soft Matte. I have shade 02 Sunkissed. This is just a backup in case I, run out of this. I doubt I will, but I just put both in there. And then I just now decided that I'm going to keep my Fenty in there too. Try to use that up. Highlighters, I have, well, the one that I picked is my Becca Champagne Pop. I'm wearing that today. Ooh, it's repressed, so I don't want to like totally tilt it down, but I really like this. And then again, both of those House Labs palettes have highlighter options in them, so I have several highlighter options. And I think that's it. I showed you the concealers and stuff that are staying in rotation. I'll pick an eyeliner if I want an eyeliner. If I want like a different lipstick, a brighter color lipstick, I'll just grab one. I don't think it's necessary for me to have one in rotation, but I think that's it. Oh no, I knew I had another highlighter. I picked my Fenty Matchstick in Rum. So a really pretty like gold highlighter. I actually think this might be just a smidge too dark for me for a highlighter, but we're gonna try it anyway. That's it. This is what I'm gonna use for the next few weeks here. I will obviously film with it as often as I can, but I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy content like this, makeup content, beauty content, you enjoy me, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, you know all about that stuff. But as always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, beauties. Till next time.